So, before I'm going to show you the real deal, the real app in action for viewing and editing, I'll show you a video of what it looks like when you interact with the app. This here is an example medical training. So you can see in the background the hospital. You have to imagine on the smart glasses you actually do see the real room unobstructed through the transparent glasses. And only where you see that person, that's where pixels light up in the display and where you see a shimmering hologram then in the room with you. So let's play that. We can see the expert providing some explanation here on the patient, walking around, pointing with the hands at something, using a think aloud protocol to explain what's going on. It's one example of types of augmentation we provide. In a second we will see a second one, here it is, where you can see a three-dimensional overlay highlighter action glyph we call it, plus a visual effect and some audio. Here you can see a character model. But without further ado, let's jump into the app and look at a real medical training that I bring up here in the room with me. So app is loading. These are the collaboration partners. Here I can see the home screen. It's a demo server full with test content. So I'm looking now for ECG, for a 12-lead ECG training. Opening that, the first thing I need to do is calibrate,
is a guide
which I'll
to recording a high-quality
Calibration ensures
ECG,
that I can
a skill that requires
transfer content from room to room or allow multiple users to look at the same spot, the same digital objects, even though they're using their own devices. So let's jump into it. Here step 1 explains how the routine is set up.
We see some augmentations.
And then a short explanation of what equipment is required follows, so ECG and lead box,
lead ECG.
and then an introduction to greeting the patient. Hello,
Greet
patient.
the patient and give.
And I'll jump really rapidly through this now.
Check that the patient is
Check
lying back
the position.
at an angle of around 45
I need to have a semi-fowler. This is about a semi-fowler. Patient is not too upright, not too low.
Incomplete.
Normal blood flow is ensured.
This is done for
and then we can actually jump in here to a bit more interactive training. So I need to place those electrodes now. That's the first 4 electrodes. Relatively simple. We know where ankles are and we usually know where left and right is. Not that easy. Patient left or my left. Yeah. I can place these also now here on the wrist. And then final one. Good. Here we go. And then the more complicated electrodes follow. That's the first chest electrode, which I have defined by counting down here on that mandible, on that bone, and then counting the rib spaces and place it in the right one, V1, on the left, somewhere about here. So you can see this is normal AR. You have to interact with the 3D space on this 2-dimensional surface, so the best way to do that is put your finger on it and walk where you actually want it to be in 3D space, and that's the way you do that. Good. That gives you an impression of how a training works. It shows how you engage with it, how you walk through the different action steps. Now I'm going to show you how simple it is to create content. So I'm back on the home screen. I will look now at the big plus button, which brings me into the creation mode, creating a new activity. First thing again, calibrate. So I shall do that. At the first step of the activity, you typically decide where you want the marker hung. So you would provide, when you hand out the activity, also some explanation of where it needs to be. If location doesn't matter because everything is digital in it, then you just need to make sure you have enough space. Whereas if it is on a specific machine, then you want to explain very precisely where the marker needs to be stuck. It's always the same marker for every activity. You have maybe noticed here on the screen recording that I did a quick scan of the environment. That ensures that my models are all perfectly anchored. So I have now a complete room scan, and now I can place my first task station. So it pops up to near where I was in the first place when I started that. And I can now walk and place it where I want it. So let's just line up a few of those. Number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. Let's move that a little bit further back to number 4. You can always also see the next action step in turquoise. And now I will start layering my content up and around this first task station. So let's get a 3D model up. I'm already logged on. I would provide here my sketchfab.com username and password. That gives me access to something like 500,000 models for free and considerably more than what they quoted in 2019. 4 million models for pay. Some of them cost pennies, some of them cost more serious money. Most of them are very, very reasonable. I can look here now for a free model, and I can look for rover. I could also decide to upload my own, put them in my own file space there, and sketchfab.com would take care of all the conversions of the file formats as required. So let's pick one here, Mars Perseverance. I know that's a high quality model. I can also see that from the download speed. It is still reasonably fast. Let's put that into the scene here. And it pops up here in my landing zone. Here we go. And I can resize, move it around, place it to where I want it, and can start layering my additional content around it. So I'm picking now an action glyph like highlight. Highlight is a useful thing if I want to direct attention to a specific spot. Like, I don't know, this wheel here at the front. Yeah, that's kind of where it is. Good. I might pick some others from this standard vocabulary here, like pick up that wheel. Let's make it a bit bigger. And here, place it. You see, I'm actively moving around to place things where I want them. On the smart glasses, I would be more stationary and would use the lasso to place things in 3D space. But on a handheld device, this is the way how you interact with augmented reality. Good. Let's get another cool effect, something that we're very proud of here, the ghost. Ghosts allow us to record audio and indoor movement. On the smart glasses, again, we also record the hand movement. We can't do that here on the handheld device. It doesn't make much sense. I'm choosing to be, let's be female today. And I'm providing an explanation here, and then I walk over to the other side of the rover and provide some more explanation. I press apply. And immediately I see here a preview of me as a woman walking
to the other side of the rover
providing
some more explanation.
Yeah, I have layered this whole activity. That means I can, for example, say I want to carry over our 3D model here of the Perseverance rover to the other action steps that I laid out. So I increase now from step and 2-step, well, from step I leave it 1, 2-step I increase to 5. And if I walk over now to the next step, the model will pop up in the same place where I had it in the first place. So I can add my additional content. So the position of the 3D model always stays the same across all steps, just the location of the task station changes. That's maybe in the first place a bit different than expected, but it helps a lot to provide the projection stability. I can add now some visual effect, for example. Making things explode is fun. Let's add that here. So we have now here behind the rover also a visual effect. That looks quite stylish, ultra cool. I can also add a character. So let's take Hannah. Hannah is a character model, which I can also resize, and which I can make show some animations like positive, affirmative. It's hidden in there. Let's move that rover out of the way, which of course affects now the positions in the other action steps. I can also switch it over to AI mode. And hello.
Hi, I am an intelligent virtual teacher. My work is to help you learn geometry, especially 3D and 2D shapes. You'll know how to identify different shapes and also understand their features. Are you ready?
I am ready.
What's your name?
Call me Friedland.
Nice to see you, Friedland. How's going?
I'm okay. Okay, you get the impression of what this looks like, and dialogues are as good as you write them. The way you modify this dialogue is you go to the back end and edit the ID of the dialogue. That's more of an expert functionality anyways, so I'm not going to say much more about it other than that this uses IBM's Watson. So the speech recognition and the dialogue understanding and everything is very much state of the art and stands up to other services such as Siri, Alexa, Cortana, just with the additional ability to also play animations. Good. When I'm happy with editing my activity, I can walk over here. I can also create a new thumbnail. Let's just do this wardrobe here for the sake of it and apply. I have now a thumbnail in here. I can rename this activity into my demo for you and save and upload. So this is uploading now. May take a bit as the model was not the smallest but also not the biggest. I'm not sure how good my connection is. We're done. Perfect. I can now close the app and go to my Moodle. That's our backend server. So I'm logging on here. I can navigate to a course and as a teacher turn editing on. And augmented reality is through our module here, augmented reality experience. It's added to the mix of things you can do. So I select augmented reality experience and say my demo for you and save and display, and immediately here I can see the demo pop up. So if I switch this also to edit mode and assign and find my save button, which is here, and press save, it is now actually assigned. So if I turn editing off, I get a preview of what it looks like for the students. I can go in here and they don't see the lower half. I can press play and it immediately opens the app, downloads the activity and plays it. So here, start screen, loading. This is now funnily our preview application, which I also have installed here on this iPad, where you can see the next version of what it will look like. And yeah,
and
also
I'm
asking
providing an explanation here,
to
and
calibrate.
then I walk over to the other side of the rover and provide some
And once I have
and I'm
calibrated, I can
providing
see
an
here
explanation
the
here,
ghost
and then
again
I walk
walking
over
around the
to the other
3D
side of
model
the rover
and
and
everything
provide some more explanation.
in the place where we left it. Mind it, we have shifted in step 2 the rover over here. That's why it no longer is at the original location. So I can now also go in, check edit mode, and fix that again by moving the rover back here, and then I can press save and upload again. It will prompt me whether I want to override my activity from earlier, which I will happily confirm. Yeah, but you get the overall working principle. The precision of the locations depends on the device. Can be also depends also on the distance to the marker. The calibration marker can be down to millimeters if it's relatively close, or to in the space of a complete full room, centimeters on the HoloLens. So it's more like used to be more like 4 or 5 centimeters in a big room and less in a small room. But if you're close to the marker, it's down to millimeters of precision. yeah, that's basically it. And I hope this brief overview gave you a bit of an insight of how you work with MirageXR, how you look at new learning activities, how you roll them out to your students, how you edit them, how you create your own. And if anything, then I do hope it inspires you to create your very first own learning experience.